Hey guys, Josh Carter here, OneObjective Bass Fishing. We got James. We've had a few questions on the Ranger RT 198P on where the wire chase is and how to run the wire and all that and doing all the setup that we did here. So we're just going to kind of go in. It's not going to be like crazy detail, but we're going to show you exactly where the wire come in, where the wire go out, and all that stuff. So. But a lot of stuff that you're going to see on the boat here today, you can check out. I have links in the description below for our graph mounts, and there's a few other Ranger products we got.
Organizer, and we got a few things on here that
that you can, if you want to spruce up your Ranger a little bit or get it organized. So just check the descriptions below after this video, and it'll take you to our website and show you all of the options we have for the Ranger RT 198P. All right, so we're going to start with the front of the boat here. We're going to kind of, like I say, this is not going to be fully detailed. We're not going to tear apart everything to show you all the wire chases.
We're just going to kind of go over where it's at and where to look for the chases and stuff like that and what they are. So in the front here, this is our mount here, but if you take the plate off or anything that's underneath here to get to your graph or whatever, you can take this just off, or you could take this whole piece off. It's just these screws. I think it's a T15 Torx, and then you can take this all off if you can't get your hand in there. I was able to do everything from just taking this off, run my hand through the hole in here, and it's a tube in here. It's a piece of pipe. It's about that big.
It's like a rubber pipe.
Yeah, rubber tube. And then, but on mine, I was able to fish the wire through it a lot easier than we were on my partner's boat with Josh's that's filming. His had a little bit more of a kink in it. It's just zip tied, so it comes down this channel here, and then it kind of curves here. Well, his had a little bit more curve, so it was actually kinked. So if you can get in there, that's where taking this out on his would have probably been more beneficial, to actually cut a zip tie in here so that tube wouldn't have that kink in it. So that's pretty much it. And you can run some pretty decent cable from the dash to here fairly easy. And you come back to the console here. This piece here just comes off. It's like, I think it's 3 screws on the back side, and I think it's 3 screws down here as well, next to here. And you can just pop this off and kind of lean it back. And you'll see the tube right down here in the bottom to run to the front. And then there's this plate right here on the 198. You can see where you can fish the wires in from underneath here to go into the console. And actually taking the fuse box out that's at your feet, which is right here, popping this loose to be able to run this, because there's a small hole in the bottom of the console. Once you take the plate off, you'll see a little hole where all the wires go through, and you can just pretty much follow them where there's wires that run through this anyway.
Yeah, it's just a groove. It's just like a little notch or whatever.
Yeah, it's not like a chase or nothing there. You'll just see where some wires are running. But when you run them, they're going to come through, and you'll be able to find them down here. And then you take them from down here and then run straight into the bottom of the console. It really is simple to do it. You just got to hope that, like where mine, it was kinked up front. That was the only issue that we ran into. And it was a lot easier on his after I figured out the technique. The front part was easy. Finding where the chases went in the rear was a lot more difficult. There's actually 2 for the rear. So there's a bigger tube that's going to be right here that's got your steer linkages and all that stuff through. That's actually going to come out here. The bigger tube that you see your steering cables and all that stuff. So you can actually take this off, and like on Josh's boat, we actually ran his puck is sitting right here, and we just fished it through here.
And we'll tell you why here in a little while we had to do that, because it was kind of...
And the reason why mine is back there, because my boat had a scratch on it from power pole cable where they put my zip ties on here and scratched the boat on the way. So I just made a little puck here to make it level and set it on top of there to just cover the scratch up.
But there, like I say, he said it was 2. There is another one right there beside it.
Yeah, and mine was really short. And then the one in Josh's boat was longer, which was easier to find, especially since I already knew where it was. But it's 2, and it's another tube, just like the one in the front. Besides, this one is a lot skinnier and smaller, so you can't run nowhere near the amount of cables through this one as you can up to the front, which makes no sense. You would think that they'd have the bigger one in the back, because you're running more cable to here first before you would run it all the way to the front. On mine, we got the shutoffs and everything right here, and then there's like a drain hole here where there's a second one up right behind the live well. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there, and it is really skinny. Mine had 2 cables coming out of it, but I was able to fish my 8 gauge through it up to the dash, and we done the same thing with Josh's. There is hardly any room in there because of the way that the grommet goes on, the tube goes on the back side, and then it's clamped, and then this has a cover on it, so the hole is probably only about as big as your thumb back here, which really sucks for running if you want to run multiple power cables and stuff like that, which we ran super heavy duty power straight to the front, so we really didn't have, for the voltage drop and stuff like that, we really don't have that issue. But if you were running just a bunch of 12 or 16 gauge, you probably run as many of those through there as you want. But just make sure if you're going to do that and you're running like NEMA and stuff like that, that you run your NEMA cables first, because they got the head on them. You want to make sure you run them all first, so you don't have that head trying to fish through with all them other wires.
And also be careful too with like metal on some of them, because was it yours or mine that we had?
Well, mine back here was more kinked than Josh's was. Mine, I guess it tapered and went through here somewhere, and it must have had more of a kink in it. And you can't take none of this stuff out. It's all foam. Like your compartment here, I was trying to see if I could sneak them through here because I was having such a hard time. You can't even get these out. So, as you see, I got screws in mine now instead of rivets, but you can't even take those.
They're foamed in.
They're foamed in. You cannot. And the drain is in the bottom up, which I didn't even think about that until after I had drilled them out, and I was like, "You're an idiot." You couldn't have. I couldn't have pulled it out if I wanted to, and if I did, I could have really screwed something up, because it's got the drain line is in there, and that's what that other drain for right here actually is. So
yeah, I don't know if you can see it now.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So that's actually the drain for this compartment. So if you needed to run something into the compartment, like a battery or something, like you were going to put a battery back here, now you could possibly do that. Like if you're running a live scope, or you want to put your black box or something back here, that could be an option as well. I didn't even think about that till now, but you could do that if you wanted to.
And people, they might ask about the 8 gauge wire, and you're talking about voltage dropping. We see a lot of people running, the C Clear or whatever, and that's probably a good system. We've never messed with it, but we have found out that it's all about good connections, enough wire so you don't get voltage drop, and good thick insulating wire, because it keeps you from getting interference from other electronic devices on there. And we ain't had no issues with our live scopes.
We're running 4 graphs and a Panoptix box off of this 8 gauge, and we don't see any issues at all. I have mine hooked to a lithium here on my graphs and stuff now, but Josh's is running all of his off of this little Group 24 as of right now. And he's not having any issues at all with interference at all either. So,
and I'm probably going to upgrade mine to a regular lithium, just for, you can see at the end of the day, if you fished a good long day, that it's it's dropping. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother video
Yeah.
in itself. But as voltage droppage though, like in getting a bad picture, you don't get that with the way we got it set up right now.
Yeah, and we did put a shutoff here. I know this has nothing to do with where the wire running, but we did put a big shutoff here to just for our graphs. So everything is not, it's straight power from the battery to here, and this turns all of our graphs off if we want. So
Yeah. But other than that, I mean,
that's
it. Yeah, it's a wire chase video. So I mean, if we didn't answer all the questions for that, I know this wasn't like a full in-depth video, but I mean, basically where he was showing you where the chases come in, basically right there where your controller, your throttle linkage and stuff is where it separates. So you'll have one that goes to the back and one that goes to the front right there. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it's just kind of, you know, where you run on your wire and all that stuff. So, yeah. But the main thing is take your time getting it through there. Don't force it. Don't, you know what I mean? Sometimes it might go quickly, yeah. Or it could be like my situation in the front where it took a little while.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Mine, I was able to I put it on I just took the wire by itself and pushed it straight through mine, and I was done. Yeah. On Josh's, we've used pull sticks, and it was nightmare. But we should have took the foot pedal out on his. Yeah. Really, since it was a little bit tougher, but mine went so easily that I didn't even think about it, and then
we finally got it through.
Yeah. Of course, after you do more than one, it's a whole lot easier. So after y'all do your boat, you'll be able to do somebody else's a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like I say, let us know in the comments below if this video helped you. If it didn't, let us know, and maybe we'll try to do a better one next time. But this, you know, without having to tear our boat completely apart, yeah. I mean, this is the best we could do on just showing you where the wire chases are. I mean, if you can start from here in the back and where James started at, that's basically getting you going. That's where your power and all that's going to go. Mm-hmm. So the rest of it is pretty self-explanatory. But the main thing is you got to take that where your throttle linkage, your shifter is. You got to take that off, or you're not going to get to none of it anyway. Yeah. So
and just you can't get. So if you think that if you run your wire, like if you can't get what power wire and stuff you were trying to run through that little hole in here. This does not go into the inside of the boat. This is all completely foam, just so you know. It's good for like running a GPS puck or something like that. It's really easy to run that kind of stuff in there because there's plenty of room. But if you were trying to run a power cable through here, it's going to be exposed and you're going to have to go through.
Yeah, you're not here. Basically saying the chase runs all the way to the throttle up there.
Yeah, so it's not internal inside this compartment at all.
Yeah. So, but other than that, guys, hope this video helped you. If it did, share it with us. Give us a thumbs up. Comment below that it helped you or whatever. Like I say, comment below if you still having issues, and we'll try to do what we can to address it. If you got any other issues with your Rangers, you know, some stuff that we've done that you're like, hey man, how'd you do that? Let us know so we can kind of do another in-depth video and showing you how to do it. So, but other than that, make sure you go check out OneObjectiveBF.com. for all the accessories we got. Also, we'll have some links here to some other videos for like our storage stuff, for, you know, just all the other Ranger stuff we got. So.
Yeah, and if you want to check out our fishing channel, it's OneObjective Outdoors.
Yeah. I'll have a link. I'll have a video here on one of these two that you can go and check that out, and go subscribe to that, because that's all our fishing content. This is all our how-tos, rigging, products, all that stuff. But our OneObjective Outdoors, that's where we're doing all the fishing and all that stuff. So, and you're going to see tackle tips and all that stuff over there. So that page just started. So make sure you go over and hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button here. Hit the thumbs up button. And share this video with your friends.
Yep. And we hope to see you on the water.